Unsere nächste Stay-at-Home-Session, was schon die 7. sein wird am Mittwochabend um 19 Uhr live auf dem Facebook-Kanal der Kulturküche gesendet. Ihr kennt das Prinzip bestimmt schon, wenn ihr die letzten Wochen schon aufmerksam unsere Kanäle verfolgt habt, dann wisst ihr, was auf euch zukommt. Das wird total super. Und dieses Mal gibt es ein ganz besonderes Session-Erlebnis, denn der Musiker, der am Mittwoch bei uns zu Gast sein wird, ist David. Und David und Marla sind eigentlich ein Duo, ein deutsch-kanadisches Duo. Und wir bekommen sozusagen von David eine Live-Session eingespielt aus Toronto, Kanada, straight up to your screens nach Hause. Yeah! Welcome!
Hello.
Finally we made it. Welcome to the Insta-Live-Interview. Nice to have you here.
Nice to see you. Sorry, thanks for your patience. I was confused between the Marla and David and the David Instagram.
It's no problem. So you got both channels and you needed to check out which one is the right one. There's no problem. At the beginning I can just ask and speak a little bit and talk to the people, so no worries. Now you're here.
Yes, I was here. I was listening, and then I was like, uh-oh.
Okay. Yes, I'm very glad that you could set up to be here with me in this virtual interview spot. I'm so happy that we can make it out, and we're happy to have you as our next guest to the next stay-at-home session that we're broadcasting on Wednesday at 9 p.m. German time. So tell us a little bit about you and your situation. You're in Toronto right now, is it right? And
yes.
It's early in the morning.
Yes, I'm still waking up. This is the most I've used my voice in the last, since I woke up. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're
That's
like your breakfast. We are your breakfast.
Exactly. My first experience.
Experience, yes, right.
I put some clothes, I fix my hair as much as I can. No time for a shower. But that's okay in virtual world.
Yeah, in virtual world we're not smelling anything, so we just have the picture and it's awesome. And I prepared some questions because we in Germany we like to get to know you a little bit better, and we like to just know a little bit more about your music. So during the entrance I already told that you actually are a duo, but Marla now is in Germany and you are at the time staying in Toronto. And I can imagine that you had other plans made for this year, but then Corona crisis hits us all. And so tell us a little bit about how the Corona thing mixed up your plans for this year.
Right. Well, I would say that we're both actually a little bit lucky because we were on tour in Europe. We had some shows in Germany, England, and France, and then we were going to Spain right when it hit. And so I was worried that I wouldn't get back here to see my kids in March. But everything, worked out perfectly, with a little bit of fear. We were scared because we almost didn't make it back to Germany, first of all. And then we were there with Marla's family in Heidelberg for a week, which was lovely. And then I flew back here on my flight, my originally planned flight, and we did the majority of our tour dates. So I got back here and I quarantined for 14 days. People are supposed to bring me food. I'm not allowed to go outside, right? At all for 14 days.
Oh, yes.
In Canada, that was the rule, and it's still going. If you travel here, which we really hope Marla will come as soon as possible, and that's what I'm getting at. She's this week we are going to contact the local member of parliament here and ask them, if they can help with immigration because they're not responding online. They're too busy, and they are saying that she's not allowed to come. So it's really sad.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, it could change in a month, but that's much longer than we expected. It's already been over 6 weeks. And, we have an album we're working on, and we also want to be together, so obviously.
Yes. Did you have other tour-like dates you wanted to do in Canada or North America? Are there shows that needed to be canceled?
That's a good question. Yeah, we had really nice shows coming up. There was a couple of festivals. One of them is called Mariposa, and it's been running since the late 60s, and it's one of these great folk festivals. And John Prine was the headliner, and he passed away from Corona.
Oh no.
country singer, yeah. He was the big act, and everyone is just shocked, right? So that festival got cancelled, and everything, though, is being postponed to next year. So they told us we're reserving the position for 2021. So we just have to look at this year as a break for everything.
Yes, more time to write music and to record an album, I guess. So when you two together, like if Mala can immigrate to Canada and spend the time there with you, so you're going to plan recording a new album and writing songs. Is it maybe a creative break you could use to be more focused on it besides the normal daily life routines? Would you assume it like that?
Yes. We get distracted very easily. And play live shows and improvise each moment. But to sit down and actually write music is so easy to just stop and do something else. And now I think I've found, and I'm sure you have found, you find so much time and you look for creative things to do. And has it been nice for you?
Yes. It changed a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just trying to make up the best out of the situation. We are planning lots of online content that we can broadcast via the social medias as the stay-at-home sessions, for example. And we like to do other things that we are not allowed to put on stage, but we try to figure out ways to bring it to the people via the internet. So it's changing. It's changing, but we still are passionate about what we're doing, and we try to find the ways to do it either way, as you, as everybody who's sitting in this boat right now. Yeah.
Changing things.
Yeah. But culture is such an important thing to save and to continue working on it. So we are not stopping it at any point, but we need to figure out new ways to bring it to the people. Yeah, to bring people connecting to each other. Yes. So we like to get to know a little bit more about your music. For how many years are you doing music together, Marla and you? And what was the point when you thought, yes, the musician life, this is exactly what I wanted to do? For the birds, yeah.
Do you mind? I can go somewhere else. They're speaking to us because we're talking.
But you have to translate it.
Oh yeah, some other time. It's going to take me decades. But I did hear your question, and we met quite a few years ago, and it was just at a festival. And then years later again, we met through the same friend who organized that festival, but more as friends this time. And she joined me on a tour, and that was about 5 years ago. And so she would do her music and I would do mine. And then I really liked her music, and she came here and produced the record. I produced a record here, but then the next record, As We Fell in Love, had to be a record about the two of us together. It just kind of happened inevitably. Sorry, birdies.
We'll leave you.
But so that's sort of the story. I think and the music we make is, always utilizing each other's voices and little guitar parts and stuff, using the best that we like about ourselves, that we like to do when we make music. I think that becomes a slightly conscious part of our songwriting, is that we both like to be part of it.
Yeah, that's a really nice thing. And what would you describe are your biggest musical influences, and who brought which influence together in this whole process?
Right. I think, we share them quite a bit. That's part of the reason we got along so well. Pretty much anything that came out of the 60s and the 50s, and then you go up there and you get into the 70s, and there's quite a bit as well, and then the 80s, it gets smaller and smaller, and then there's always stuff that's modern too. But I guess we're kind of the vintage cats. we resonate with the old stuff, and not because we're too nostalgic, and we're not disrespecting anything that new people come out with. But it's just, we like old things, like old furniture, and plants are old, and old seeds. I mean, it's a beautiful time we live in. I also love and appreciate technology, and I use it. I produce, I have a home studio, it's right here in front of me. But let's say, you know, it's early, Neil Young, the Beatles, psychedelic stuff of Pink Floyd and Sid Barrett. And, you know, I know every song by Pink Floyd, and she knows all these things too. You know, she was raised on classical music, actually. So there's something of, like, when she sings in perfect tune, and that's something that's more than a relief for me, because when she just sings in tune, and that's really hard to find these days. And for harmonies, you don't have to think; you can just feel.
Yes, very beautiful. When you say you produce music, you produce your records, but are there other musicians that you are working with together in Canada, for example?
Yes, actually, we were playing a regular Friday show in Toronto at the Cameron House, and there's a rotating cast of musicians that are have been part of my band for years, where I've been doing my own music. I have 4 albums on my own. Marla has 1, and we've joined, and so we'd have every Friday to go play live with them, and we have, you know, a choice of these great drummers, bass players, keyboard players to use on our record. And so for our album, we used this great other producer, drummer called Don Kerr. He played the drums along with Tim Jackson on bass, and then we brought it home to my studio and finished off all the other stuff.
This sounds like a very creative and spontaneous way to put all these different musicians and musical parts together.
Yeah.
I imagine it like that.
It is. They're our friends first, and then usually I meet them as friends in the music scene in Toronto or in Europe. And you become closest friends first, and then you invite them to play, as opposed to looking for the right drummer or the right bass player. And I really noticed that happening. That's just the way I like to be my whole life. And it just seems to work that way. It's better. And then the music is so much more fun. In Europe, we have loads of friends too. Great players that we can call on in Heidelberg, Germany. Sorry. Battery.
No problem.
We have time. It's just the first warning, like on your gas tank.
Again, please.
It's like when your car is telling you almost empty.
Oh, yeah.
We're going into reserve.
Yes, please charge now. Right. And what are you thinking about your long-term musical journey? Are there plans that you have in mind that you really like to proceed and bring to reality one day? Is there something like a big step waiting for you that hasn't been done like since today?
We're not so good at planning these kinds of things. We look at the next year and a half usually at a time. And so we definitely have this record coming up, and you know, maybe we'll eventually make separate records as well. We don't know, and we also don't know where to live. We live half here in Canada, a little bit longer in Canada, and then almost half a year in Europe. But usually when we're in Europe, we're touring. So, and we like to travel. I don't know. It's a good question. We don't plan it further than that.
But it's an answer though.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like a good state of mind to face this future we are about to like
come towards
come towards us. Yes. And yeah, we are very happy that you find the time to play for us on Wednesday evening, even if it's just the one of you two. But we know that Marla is with us on the screen, maybe in Heidelberg. And yes, we really we thought about the evening you played at Kulturküche. It's like 3 years ago, but we had you on stage at our venue, and this was such a lovely evening, and it's still a nice memory to think about. And yeah, we are very lucky that you find the time to play for us again on Wednesday at 9 p.m. German time. So now I'm going to tell something to our community. I'm going to do it in German, but please hold the line.
No problem.
Okay, so wir sind am Ende unseres Interviews mit David angekommen. Er wird am Mittwochabend um 19 Uhr live auf Facebook die nächste Stay-at-Home-Session einspielen. Und uns ist es da immer ganz wichtig, dass auch die MusikerInnen unterstützt werden. Auch wir natürlich als gemeinnütziges Projekt freuen uns über Unterstützung. Und an dieser Stelle kommt immer der Hinweis, dass ihr uns gerne auch virtuelle Hutspenden dalassen könnt über PayPal. Da haben wir immer was vorbereitet hier, der freundliche Servicehinweis. Wenn ihr uns unterstützen möchtet, so wie ihr es könnt, macht es gerne über eine virtuelle Hutspende via PayPal an spenden@kulturküche.com. Herzlichen Dank, sagen wir an dieser Stelle. Genau. So this is like the ending of this interview, but we're looking so forward for Wednesday night, and I'd like to thank you for the time to yes, have the interview with me, and I hope you're staying safe and healthy, and hopefully Marla can join you very, very soon, and I hope you find the time to write more beautiful music together, and yes, keep us updated online.
We will. Okay, I look forward to it. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Is there something you like to say to the community, like as a bye-bye? So now you got the time.
Yeah, I just want to say that this organization is really nice. We had such a good time 3 years ago, and I hope you continue to enjoy their explorations, like the opera from a window they just did recently.
Yeah, you did. You watched it. Very, very cool.
Really creative and special. It was, it was magic. It was such a good idea to invite her. So thanks for having her, and I hope to see you guys in person soon.
Yes.
Next tour.
Cross fingers. Yes.
Yes.
Next
exactly.
tour, whenever it will be. Okay, so I like to thank you again. Und ich sage auch euch draußen danke fürs Zuschauen. Schön, dass ihr beim Insta-Live-Interview mit David dabei wart. Mittwochabend um 19 Uhr auf dem Facebook-Kanal der Kulturküche. Streamen wir seine Stay-at-Home-Session. Das wird toll. Schaltet eine ein. Und in diesem Sinne wünsche ich euch einen schönen Nachmittag und sage goodbye, thank you und bis bald.
Bye.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.
Ciao.
Ciao.